Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Lily, Mordechai. So geschmack to be back. You have no idea. Let me tell you, I'm coming out of a dream. We met over 4,000 people. 4,000 people at Shiurim. Unbelievable. So, starting with Borough Park. Borough Park was the largest one. We had over 1,500 people. And then Muncie, 750. On a Friday afternoon, people were at a shiur. I think we finished at maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon, over 300 people in Queens. Motzi Shabbos, we finished after 1 a.m. It was 750 people in the White Shul. It's crazy. Where else do we have? Muncie was huge. Lakewood. We finished off with Lakewood. Lakewood was in the middle of Seder. Seriously, it was 5:30 in the afternoon, middle of second Seder. A lot of people couldn't come. Still had 450 people. It was very, very nice. The Olam over there didn't get my jokes. When I showed the Biden clip in the White Shul, the Olam was on, maybe because it was 1 o'clock in the morning, the Olam was on the floor, push on the floor. I showed it in Lakewood. They didn't know who he was. And even if they did, they didn't know that he fell down the stairs. They had no clue. It's a guy, okay, so Biden fell, he tripped. What? No, nothing. It's unbelievable. But anyway, it was literally off the charts. It's the idea to first of all meet so many of the people that are doing the daf, people that were with us since bracha, Shabbos, Ksubis, the stories that I heard, one after another, is unbelievable. Anyway, a lot of new people. It was Pashat, tremendous chizuk. I apologize to you guys. I know you're like the afterthought. Tonight, we're going to celebrate tonight. Tonight is a big siyum at Ahavat Zion, Fleish Gamil, great hechsher, kihilois, whoever needs badats, we have badats available. So sign up at MDY Siyum, the final one. I'm already a bucky in the Siyum. I've done the Siyum 5 times as if I have never done it. Ask the same question, say the same answer. I'll do it again tonight. You guys haven't seen it probably. Yes? We'll do a review of Saita. The review of Saita. What? And what if you fall off in the beginning? What, this, that. Yesterday I stuck in a new one. Shamshi said you got to stick in the new one. He hears this from everybody. I want to join Daf Yomi. I don't want to join a cult. Okay. Hayoim. Shiva v'arbaim yoim sheim shisha shavuos v'chamisha yomim ba'omer la'omer. Literally, I'm not exaggerating if I say there was hundreds of emails that I didn't get to. Some of them I didn't even read. Usually I read everything, but I certainly didn't read them in shiur. I'm just going to start with what we have over here. Hi, Reb Eli. Just want to thank you and the entire community for the Muncie Live shiur and share with you that I convinced my brother-in-law, who's no longer observant, but one day soon to come to the shiur. He told me that it would be the first Gemara shiur he's been to in over 15 years. So he wasn't sure he'd be able to stay for the entire thing. He moved back to more space shortly after the question and answer part of the shiur. I figured I was going to slip out. He was going to slip out. I was pleasantly surprised that he was still there and stayed for Ma'ariv. He said he loved the shiur, animation, singing, dancing, how everyone was extremely friendly and non-judgmental, and how he dressed and looked. So thank you and everyone for making him feel welcome. After the shiur, you asked my 12-year-old son if he wanted to get a picture with you. He responded, I already have one. The Kitzer, he's the kid eating potato chips because he was in the middle of eating potato as he's taking the picture. Okay, fine, so we'll find that picture. Dear Belly, I've been listening to your shiur since 2020, midway through Shabbos. And after nearly 3 years, I just met you a couple of hours ago in person. First of all, there was a guy, I forgot who it was. Is this the person? No. A person flew in special just to meet me from Montreal. I don't remember his name, but he didn't tell me that. And he told my brother afterwards, I just flew in, I'm flying right back. Another guy came over to me and he said, my wife told me to tell you that I flew into Eretz Yisrael for one reason only, to come to a live shiur. Right after the shiur, I got on a plane, went back. I didn't do anything else in Eretz Yisrael. But when I was here, I was too shy to tell you that that's what I did. Unbelievable. So his wife forced him to, both of you. I'm sure there's other people I don't know about. Speak up. I just met you a couple of hours ago in person for the very first time in the White Shul, Far Rockaway, after 3 years. A guy came over to me in the White Shul also. He says, I feel like I'm your best friend. Like I hear you every day, but this is like the first time we're actually meeting in person. Okay. On the one hand, it felt strange hearing you speak at normal speed, since I usually listen to you at 1.5 speed. It's also strange because I feel like you're a very close friend. I've listened to you for nearly 3 years, and yet you don't know me. Here's another one. I bet you hear that a lot. Seriously, I really appreciate being able to thank you in person, even though the Shilera, I'm just a few years older than you, and I always loved learning Chumash, vehatzlacha. But learning Gemara is never for me. My son recently got married, made aliyah, convinced me to the daf. I listened to the audio share, brachas, getting lost in Shabbos because he couldn't visualize. I'm a super visual learner, and it was very difficult trying to observe the daf without visual aids. I almost gave up. Then a friend told me about the Emin daf. I used it for Chazara, made all different. Suddenly things had to be. After about a week, I transitioned to a full share. Another guy that got pulled in through the 8-minute daf and then went to the regular one. When I got COVID, 2020, I took tremendous chizuk from Yeshua and felt amazing to be part of the extended NBY family. Anyway, tremendous hakor satayv, stronger kesher. Okay. Shkoyach having big impact on my life. Hashem give you the strength to continue to do your work. May we grow together in Torah, your Talmud forever. Forever. Jeff Haskell. Shkoyach. Dear Reb Eli, we are Beis Chazak, a morning yeshiva program in London for boys on individual Jewish journeys, part of Hashmonam High School. As part of our project, the boys have taken up Hasmoniyim. I call it Hashmonayim. As part of your project, the boys have taken up learning Daf Yomi Rosh Hashanah using your videos in class. They are truly engaged and excited about their first steps into Gemara. We thought it would be amazing if you could send them a video message or an email. Here's the message and email. Hi. Chazak v'matz. Finish the Masechta. Finish Shas with us. And I'll come visit you soon. Be'ezer Hashem, the siyum of Gittin is going to be in... No, I'm just kidding, guys. I'm kidding. Offering them chizuk for the remaining 34 days is for me in the world to them. Best wishes, Loren, Birnbaum. Rabbi Isai, the koilel is sponsored by Anonymous from Lakewood, who I saw in Lakewood and brought over a box of sandwiches that weighed 45 pounds. I'm not exaggerating. Need 2 people to schlep the sandwiches that he got me to eat. But I did eat 2 of them, Mishkoyach. The Masechta, we don't have a sponsor yet. It's like $9,000 only. The sponsor of the month, Yosef. The sponsor of the month, Zechraya ben Moshe. The sponsor of the day, Loren and Sora, Deetza, Spigelman. Oh, in honor of their daughter Tzivie's engagement. The Nachi Loew, son of Reb Daniel of Chanie Loew. Is that how you pronounce it? How do you pronounce the last name? Low, okay, good. Mazel Tov. I didn't see this before. Wow. Who made aliyah to Beit Shemesh last summer from Highland Park, New Jersey. Mazel Tov. Binyomin Biron for bracha, vehatzlacha in all our endeavors, in honor of Reb Eli and all the lomdim. Lezchut from Shimon Hill ben Chava Lezivik Hogan ben Meheira. Amen. Tzali Fortgang. Mazel Tov to the family of Yiddy Lebowitz, Zechraya MDY OG artist. On the wedding of their daughter, Chanie. We're not going to forget Yiddy Lebowitz, 40-something-year-old, who is our graphic designer, who's nifter from COVID. Art of the month. Not sure when this ends. For a complete refuah for Tzivie ben Leo. Our boy say, so for the continuation, if you haven't seen the Biden thing, put on some, what's his name? There's a certain guy in the shir who Baruch Hashem is not here today, who was anti-me doing this. And I asked around in New York during one of the shurim, I asked if anybody's opposed to this because he has yarmulke, payas, and this and that. I think it's a chutzpah, and nobody said anything. But I did get one email that I might read. Rabbi Isai, here's some volume. Put the volume on. This is what I didn't show yesterday in Lakewood because they wouldn't understand anyway.
Here's the deal. You're finding Nachtab and you're finding Nachtam.
What? Okay. He's our in-house shliach. So we're holding Daf Zayin Amud Aleph. You understand what kind of simcha Dailam in America had from this? You have no idea. Okay. Tonight the seam is at 7 o'clock. 7:30 for 8 p.m. Oh, it was moved. 8 o'clock. Avasiyon, Nachal Timna, music, guest speaker. All right. Rabbi said we're in the middle of a beautiful sugya, a little bit of a gata actually. Huh? Musar, gata, good. We're holding the sugya lo'olam al yatil odom ema yisir b'sich beisai. A person shouldn't put any extra fear on the people living in his house. The Gemara says, Pilegish begiva, which we're going to continue the story today. Pilegish begiva, the husband gave her Emi Yisera, and they were over on Shalish Chamuras. I wanted to say this joke in Lakewood. I decided at the end, just forget it. It's not even a joke. It's a Maisa Shahaya. A guy comes to the Satmar Rav and says, Rebbe, I was over on a tremendous Aveira. So the Satmar Rav says, what happened? You went to the Bchiras? You voted? What'd you do? So he says, Bchiras is like Shalosh Chamuras. He says, no, not at Kilikach. I only killed somebody. That was Balash and Akia. Okay. Zog the Gemara. Omer Ravashi. We're holding the Zayin Amud Aleph, one line down. Omer Ravashi. I didn't even know that he said that if you want your household to be Makayim things, and you should say, Yisartim Yiraftim Adlikus Haner Benachas. I didn't even, it's pashat, it's common sense that if you want people to listen to you and accept you, you have to talk benachas. Omer Bavo, Lo'ilom Al Yatel Odom Emil Yisir B'Sich Beisai. A person should not. Let me just show you this because I showed it everywhere, but I didn't show it to you guys. I just want to show you the hands-on. This is a real get. And it's not so, it's real, but it has some crazy names here. Donald, Ben Trump, etc. And to get this done was almost impossible. A regular cipher would not do this for us. It's illegal to write a get. It's written on not a parchment. This is how you write a get on this kind of special paper. And that's 12 shurois. I said this over and over. I'll say it again. Okay, you have enough zchariah now for Erev. So you're holding. Jonathan is holding. You watched all this year. I don't know what he put on and what he didn't put on. I'm super if Yosef actually watches shiurim because like anything that was double, don't put on. Okay, put that on. Givaldik. All right. Special sirtut machine. And I forgot. I left the country because I was holding this, then I came back with this. So whatever. There might not be a shir tomorrow. Shir from cell 109 tomorrow live because I'm holding this illegal document. I needed you in Lakewood. That's where I needed you. You would have been perfect in Lakewood. Okay, yeah. Whew. I missed you. There's a great man who put such fear and intimidation into his household that they fed him a terrible, terrible thing. What happened? Says Rashi, they had such fear from him that when the meat went missing, they didn't know what to do. What, they're not going to feed him? He'll destroy them. So they took an animal, they chopped the animal's foot off on the spot while it's still alive, and they fed it him. His own children, Chanie ben Gamliel's children. Imagine the Galador, every Galador is your child, the child, feeding every Menachem. Avada, okay, Avada. Echilu so kedaitach. How did he, what, you really think he actually ate it? So brings Rashi the famous, his own donkey wouldn't eat food that didn't have meiser. Tzadikim atzman like kolchkein. A tzaddik himself wouldn't be nichshal. They say about a Rebbe, Reb Zelig, I forgot his name already, Mizelberich, whatever his name was. They said that when he bought animals, the Kavod Shabbos Kodesh was never treif. So he was concerned that people will be choishesh that maybe he has Ruach HaKodesh. But every time he buys an animal, so he said, no, it's not Ruach HaKodesh. Pashat, if it would be treifa, it says, Lakelef Tashlichun Oisai. My dogs don't eat treifas. It's not that I don't have Ruach HaKodesh, I just have dogs that don't eat treif. I'm not on such a chosh of a level. Okay. So there's an interesting Taisus here, I thought. Taisus says, what about Rabbi Yehuda ben Tavai that killed by mistake 8 Zayimim? Says Taisus, no. Food is different. We're talking about food. For a tzaddik to eat food, that's a disgusting thing. We can't imagine a tzaddik eating food. A tzaddik to kill somebody, no, that's a different thing. It's much like the Maisa with the Tzat Mirav almost. Killing, no. All the way at the end of Taisus says, what about, we find in the Gemara that somebody ate before Havdalah. Terrible thing. It says that you get the misa on it. Taisus is beautiful. That's food that's mutter in a time of Isser. And there's a difference between food that's Pashat Asr, Shreif Chazer, to go into a tzaddik's guf, that's disgusting. To eat a Danish before Havdalah, okay, the Danish is mutter, just the time is Asr. Very nice. Okay. Huh? Right. You don't have, firstly, you don't have the whole, what's it called? The Timtum Alev, and it is. Okay, but it's Mason. Yeah. The Gdusha. They served him. They served him this thing. But he was lucky, he got out of it. Some whatever Siyat Shema he had that he didn't need it. There are people, as we're going to see, tremendous gadol olam. A tremendous gadol b'Torah was in a fight with him. And he was mecharef and megadef him. He was mocking at him. He was bothering him. Shalom Aleichem, all the guys in Zoom. How you doing? Shkoyach for sticking with it. And I have the ability to stop it right, cold on the tracks, by giving him over. I know people. Mao, what should I do? Sirta because of light. We just had the other day that you're supposed to be misartet. Here it is, live. This is what it looks like. This is a special device. You put it down. There's wires. You scrunch it into the wires, and this is for get only. Other tyrants, fill-in, mezuzah is different. Get, this is how it is. You see? Beautiful. You see it? I don't see it. Okay. But when we saw yesterday that if you write 2, 3, 4 words, 3 words, you have to do sirtut. It's halacha l'mashmisina because of Leo Marti. Eshmer adorochai mechatoi b'l'shoini. I'll guard my way not to sin with my mouth. In other words, don't use your mouth against him. When the Russia is against me, don't say anything. Mamash, a big side in life, it's better not to say a thing. Even though the Russia is against me, I'll watch my mouth. But what should I do? It's unbearable. I can't stand it. What should I do? I can't stand up against it. Nevertheless, doim lashem v'schoy. Just be quiet. Doim lashem. Let Hashem take care of it. Doim lashem hu yapilim l'cho chalolim chalolim. He'll knock them out. Hashkin v'herev aleim lebeis hamedrash. He gives him a tova. You want to get him? Go to the Beis HaMedrash, learn Torah early, go do the daf. Hashem will take care of your problems. V'hein kolim ha'aleim, and all your problems will disappear on their own. Says the Gemara, it just only came out of his mouth in a senu ligniva. Who's this big person? Gniva. He wasn't a simple person. He's a big Talmud Chacham. Big koilar, terrible. Says Rashi lahariga. They sentenced him to death. He asked the question to Mar Ukva here, because we were talking about Sholach Lei Mar Ukva, the Rebbe Lazar. This is a story about Mar Ukva. And he was told, just go to the Beis HaMedrash, learn Torah, and your enemy will disappear. So the Gemara continues, Shol Chulei Mar Ukva. They asked Mar Ukva a question, Zimra Menolan Da'asir. How do you know that singing, listening to music is asur once the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed? Sirte v'kasav lahu. So he wrote a letter with a pasuk, but he had to do sirte first. Al tismach Yisrael el gil ba'am ka'amim. My Gemara says with a base, which is a mistake. I hope in your Gemara it says it with a kaf. Ka'amim. I looked it up, it's with a kaf. V'lishlach lahu mihacha. B'shir lo yishtu yayin. With singing, you shouldn't drink wine. Yemar shecha l'shoisav. Yemar shecha l'shoisav. Yemar is the lashon of bitter. That if you do drink wine when you have music, it'll be bitter. You won't, whatever it means. It's bitter wine. Says the Gemara, I would think that's only instruments playing, like it says Rashi, like a violin. Ava the puma shari, but a cappella, just singing a song, it's mutter komash malon. So Rabbi say, what do we do with this? It's a big problem. So we have Taisus over here, and Taisus says Zimra Mnolon. So Taisus starts off Rashi that it's only playing music together with wine. Okay, and then he says, then he says like this. That he got up and went to sleep with music. When the music gives you extra special simcha, says Taisus, it should be aser. Mitzvah, however, if it's in a wedding, a shir of mitzvah, then it's mutter. What about CDs, MP3s? Says Ramosha Feinstein that it's aser to listen to music. There are those who say, Ravazner, that even a cappella is aser on a CD, because he says, that's his chiddush, that the isser is with a klishir. So MP3 is a klishir. It's an instrument that plays a cappella. It's not a cappella. It's an instrument. Imagine a cappella comes out of a violin. So it's also because it's a violin playing a cappella. That's how he holds. Bekitzer, the Chalkas Yaakov learns limud zchus that on those who listen to music, like myself, my entire life, that the gzeir was only on guitars and pianos. They didn't have this device, and Memela it's not chal on that device, but it's very shvach, and it's very hard to find the heter. The heterim are as follows: if it's to give shvach to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if it's lemitzvah, and if you're depressed. So maybe we could be melamed zchus that we're a generation of depressed people. We're all depressed. All of a sudden, we're depressed. I want to listen to music, I'm depressed. Are you depressed? No, I'm not depressed. But now I want to listen to music, I'm depressed. Okay, fine, whatever it is. Together with our what? You work in a hot kitchen under stress. Okay, listen, yes. We had that. If it's we had the Gemara that if it's to pull the ship, and you're working on the stress, and you need the music, fine. But I walked into somebody's house and there was just music playing on the speakers in the house. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, that's how most people are. But why? How? Where? What? So the Ramah says, the Ramah is Mekel, but it seems like we don't go with his kula so much. Yesh la'achmer, yesh la'helkel. Okay, fine, we'll go with the Ramah's kula. Weiter.
We actually do go.
Yeah. Minig Yisrael, on the side of you, dying, fine. Yeah. Yeah, the Ramah brings a Yesh Oimrim. Yesh Oimrim, it's okay, fine. Says the Gemara. These are three cities in Eretz Yisrael. Kino v'Dimoina v'Adada. What can you learn from these three cities? What do you mean, what could you learn? There's a list of 20-something, 30-something cities. These are three cities in Eretz Yisrael. What do you mean? Well, I know. Of course I know. I just want you to know that there's something deeper than that. Like I said yesterday about the Pilegish Begiva, because Baruch Hu was learning Pilegish Begiva. Says the Ben Yada, he's not sitting and saying over, oh, she went here and he went there. There's something much deeper to the story of Pilegish Begiva. That's why it's brought in the Navi. So when the what? The names of the Meraglim, what? The Ben Yada says this? Oh, Stam is what you're saying. Everything has mashmos. The name here, we're going to have Rav Chizda has mashmos in his name. But there's something that deeper, when we read these names, what did the Vilna Gaon on the three words? What was the pasuk? Aluze Banegev. Aluze Banegev. How many pshatim? 2,200 and something pshatim. Aluze Banegev. It's Negev, the south. No, this here. If you have some anger, you have a big thing with your friend, doesn't mean kina, jealousy. It means you're upset at your friend, v'doimem, and you're quiet. Shoichin adiyad, oiseloi din. Don't worry. If you're quiet, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take care of business. Okay, I'll give you, you're so good at this. Let me throw out 3 other names. What are you going to do with these 3 cities? Tel Aviv, Beit Shemesh, Yerushalayim. No, come up with something. Yeah, you're right. If he was here, he would say something. Yeah, I have pshat. If you have an issue with your friend about parnasa, he's taking away your parnasa, and you're quiet. Shoichim basneh, the one who dwelled in the thorn bush. Matan Torah, boysay mamish. Here we are, Matan Torah. Oisa loydin. Don't worry, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take care of it. So if I ask you a question, if this is on the Kahoot, what's more powerful than if somebody does something to you, you are quiet? What's even more powerful than that? What? That's your own pshat, but we learned it today. What's more powerful? We learned it today. Go to the Beit Shemesh, learn. That's what the Gemara says. Mashkim u'marav. If you want to get your guy, somebody really did something to you, come to Daf Yomi. Why are there so many people? Because he slugged me and he did this. Nekama. I'm coming to learn the Daf. That's mamish lekanter. But I just want to tell you real quickly, the famous mice, I said it a number of times, got to say it again. There was a guy in Bnei Brak that had a print shop. And somebody opened up a print shop right across the street. Now in New York, I was there on 13th Avenue. I went to Grand Sterling. There's a silver store right across the street. And talking about pizza shops, this is next door. Literally, you could have 3 shops on one block. Guy opened up a print shop, went to the Chazanish. I forgot already the whole thing with how the Chazanish fits into the story, but the bottom line of the story is that the owner of the original shop went to the new shop and said, how can I help you? Do you know where to get the cheapest paper? Do you know where to get ink? So his son said, Tati, okay, it's one thing, but you're going to go help him? You know what he said? He said, listen, Yosef Baruch Hu gives me parnasa. This guy, all he's doing is he's helping me. I don't have to work so hard. So let me help him help me. I'm going to give him all the inside information. Let him take all that counts. I'm going to get my parnasa anyways. Yishkoyach, thank you for coming here. So way to look at it. Or there's another Maisa Shaya. A guy had a big furniture store, and somebody opened up a superstore across from him. So at the end of the day, what happened was the superstore advertised and did all this stuff. And the guy with the smaller store actually gained. Why? Because he didn't have to advertise. All the people were coming because of the big store. And the prices were a little bit higher because it's larger. And they ended up, he claims he had more success after the second guy. Okay, fine. Like another Zach that I remembered, a lot of shiurim, we advertise a lot about the daf. But don't forget that, okay, we have X amount of people that watch the daf. We brought a lot of people to other dafim, to other shiurim. Because we also get schusim for that. Not me. Nisan Gans is tzaddik. He did that. I don't do the advertising. So the Gemara. Awareness to the daf. The what? Oh.
It's the same thing in business. Opening a second store in the street, it brings more customers.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Because of what you've done here,
yeah,
brought in more customers for many people that learn that.
Baruch Hashem, good. That's the idea. As long as they're learning Torah. We said this. How do you know you shouldn't be wearing a tiara? They used to wear, let me see, I think I had a picture here. I guess I forgot to put it in. Okay. I had it. A tiara, like some sort of crown that the Chassanim used to wear. We spoke about Adasim they used to wear. It's only the Rabbanon since the Churban Habayis, we don't wear it anymore. This is not at the end of Saita. We just learned the Gozra al Taurus Chassanim al Irus. They said that Chassanim shouldn't wear tiaras anymore. And Irus, you shouldn't use bells that only have one clapper inside. Listen to this. Ravuna gets up to go to the bathroom. Rav Chizda says Rashi. Rav Chizda didn't want to open up his mouth as long as his Rebbe Ravuna was there. Unbelievable covet. But as soon as his Rebbe went to the bathroom, we got to continue learning. So Rav Chizda says Kroksiv Koyamar Hashem Elikim Hoser ha-mitznefes v'arim ha-atara. So it says the two things. Mitznefes is what a kohen wears. Harim atara is a crown. What's the connection between a mitznefes and atara? Zois, loy zois. The Gemara is going to say what that means also. Hashvala hagbe, vagvoya hashbel. The downtrodden lift up. The guys on bub go down. V'chimayim mitznefes eitzel atara eloy malach. V'zmach mitznefes b'roish kohen gadol. When the kohen gadol wears the mitznefes atara b'roish kol adam, then a chassan can wear the tiara. Nistalka mitznefes mirosh kohen gadol, nistalka atar mirosh kol adam. Once there's no mitznefes in the Beis Hamikdash, then there's no atara in our days. Adach yaser Ravuna ashkechinu davi Yosef. So Ravuna comes back. Think about how quick he went to the bathroom. Went in, he just said one pasuk, he's already back. Ashkechinu davi Yasvi. Omar le Elokim de Rabbanon. What do you bring me a pasuk? This is the Rabbanon. Elachizda shmach v'chizdoin milach. Your name is Chizda, you're charming, you have beautiful words, I found this fascinating. The Gadol B'Torah, a tremendous Gadol, is sitting and making a mundane thing for his daughter, as if he had nothing better to do. But he's doing it l'simchas kala. He's making her some sort of head covering. What about the pasuk? You shouldn't do it after Churban Abayis. Do me the Kohen Gadol. It's similar to the Kohen Gadol. Begavre, it's only for men. Nachi Loew. So there's a Taisus here, the last line on Taisus. Taisus says, this idea of a tiara is only for Chasanim. This is only for men, for Chasanim that are in a day of Simcha. They're the heads, they're leaders. But a regular person that wants to walk around in the street with a crown on his head, a Meshuggah is allowed to. Now, what about a woman? So I don't know. I just saw the Shulchan Aruch this morning. He says that a kala should not wear these tiaras, these crowns. And actually, it was at a chasana that she was wearing it. They do some sort of silver. So I don't know what the Shulchan Aruch brings. You shouldn't wear it. Okay, I ain't shum. Again, I'm not passing. I'm just pointing things out. Says Gemara, "My zois loy zois." Let's explain those three words. Zois, this, not this. Sometimes he said it in the name of Ravami, sometimes in the name of Ravasi. Listen to this, you're not going to believe it. What are you doing to Klal Yisrael? Mamish today. I don't know exactly when the Nasa Mishra. There's Machlokes Rishonim exactly when it happened. After the Aseret Sadibros, right around now. Nasa v'nishma. Look, Klal Yisrael accepted the Torah without knowing what it was. We'll do it. Let's do it. Unbelievable. Yes, you're right. But look what they did later on. We can't ignore the fact that a generation later, yes, they got married. They brought the Torah in. And then they took another wife. They kicked that wife out, the first one out, and they took another one. Selim Beichel. They Pasha took another woman in. Selim Beichel. Real quickly, I'm not going to dwell on this, but the Tzlach says, a maveldika thing, that if you're in shul and you talk during tefillah, Selim Beichel. It's bringing a Zora into a shul. Says Gemara. That's why I told somebody once, and he didn't like it. He says, what do you care if I talk? Why is it your business? I do what I want to do. I said, yeah, but you're bringing Avodah Zarah into my shul. I don't think HaKadosh Baruch Hu appreciates that much. He might go to another shul. You are rooting for other people. Okay, fine. Dorash Rav Avira, Zimnu Amar Lo Mishmei Ravami, Zimnu Lo Mishmei Ravasi. Again, same kind of thing. It's either Ravami, sometimes said in the Ravasi. What's the Negoizu? It's unbelievable. If you see that you make it from month to month, which many people, most people that I know are month to month people. They make a certain amount of parnasa, they barely make it to the end of the month, and then they start all over again. What should you do? You should increase your tzedakah. Increase tzedakah, not decrease. With kolchkein, kishem merubin, and certainly if you have a lot of money, you should give more tzedakah. My v'chein agoizav avar. Tana de berishmol kol agoizes minchasav. You shear off from your belongings. V'yismim tzedakah. Need some adina shel gehenim. You'll be safe from gehenim. Mashal shtei v'chelois she'oivers b'mayim. 2 sheep. Here I have a picture of a sheep that has a lot of wool. Imagine this guy going into a river, trying to swim across the river, he'll drown. This guy right here has 70 pounds of wool on him, 70. So if you soak that in water, it's just going to pull him right down to the bottom. Achas gzuza, here I have another picture. Achas gzuza, v'achas ein gzuza, gzuza avra, shein gzuza le'avra. In other words, in life, if you run around with a lot of nechasim, you don't stand a chance. A Maisa Shahaya with Rav Shach, he was a Yosem. So when he got married, the other side didn't offer him an apartment. So they told him, "What are you doing? You're a chashav bacher like you." It turns out that when the Nazis were coming, those who had houses, they were a little bit on the. They didn't know, should they leave, not leave? Were they going to leave their house? Those that didn't have, they ran. They had nothing to lose. They picked themselves up and ran. He was saved from the Nazis because of that. Vinisich. Afflicted. Omar Zutra, Daf Amud Beis. Sponsored, new sponsor by the Friedman Family for our sisters. Nachi Loew Bas Pinchas Eliezer, who's Nifter Gimel Sivan. And another sister, Chanie Etel Bas Pinchas Eliezer, Yibad L'chaim Pinchas Eliezer. Chav Gimel Sivan. Omar Zutra. Afilu Oni Am Isparnas Min Tzedakah Yasid Tzedakah. Listen to this. This is another darga. This is a guy that, forget the month. He can't make it through the first week of the month. All his money comes from tzedakah. He should also give tzedakah. Nobody's part from tzedakah. I'm not going to afflict you more. Honor of Yosef Shuv ein marin lo simone anios. If a guy is poor and he gives tzedakah, he won't have the signs of anios. Reb Yehuda oimer Menachem lemizrach. Says the Gemara. Lemeimra the akol tzvon Eretz Yisrael kaima. So we said that Akko is, if you look at this map, Akko is in gold on the top, the northern part of Eretz Yisrael, the top of Eretz Yisrael. Here's the picture. Okay. So the Gemara understands now that Akko is north, but Kziv is even more north than Akko. So you see that Eretz Yisrael extends more north, it goes further up than Akko in yellow, it goes all the way to the green part. And it says, if you're walking on a pathway from Akko to Ziv, to the left, to the right is east, Mizrach. That's already Chutz La'aretz. To the left is green, it's Eretz Yisrael. Right? We know that we're choishish that the Goyim didn't bury their dead properly, and there's dead people everywhere, so the dirt of Chutz La'aretz is metama, it's tamei. Uptura mina meiser mina shvis, and you potter from meiser and shmita. So real quickly, if you don't know what meiser looks like, if you have a crop, I'm doing this for Jonathan, he loves this stuff. If you have a crop, you give 2% to the Kohen and 10% to the Levi. But this is the upgraded version, Rabbi Isai. If you have 100 apples, you take 2 and you give it to the Kohen. And if you have 100 apples, you take 10 and you give it to the Levi. That's called Meiser. And what's Trumas Meiser? If you're the Levi that got 10 apples just a second ago, you take those 10 apples. The Levi's not going to move with them because I inserted it later. And you give it to the Kohen. You give 1 apple to the Kohen. Okay, now we go back. So, that area is Chayev, or if it's Chutz La'aretz, it's potter from Trumas and Meisers, and there's no Shemitah over there. Until you know for a fact that's part of Eretz Yisrael. Mismoiloi. What's so upsetting? No. That's a different one. I didn't forget. It's slow. We have to introduce it slow. We're not going to introduce it all in one shot. Mismoiloi l'mayrov, to the left of you. Aderech tahira mishum Eretz Haman. Now it's completely Eretz Yisrael. V'chayeves b'maiser b'shvius hashivalacha shivtura. Now that's all Eretz Yisrael to the right. The where's my chart, please? The right. To the left is to the west. Ma'ariv, the green arrow. That's all Eretz Yisrael. So you have to make sure that you give maiser, unless you know for a fact that it's not Eretz Yisrael. Adechan, to what point? At Kiziv, to the top part. In other words, Eretz Yisrael extends much more further north than Akoi. Ad Lav Levoi, not over here, I don't know where it is. Much further north. Omar Bayo. Answers the Gemara, no, you didn't understand so well. Goes like, so hold on, what's this right here? Oh, this is nice. Eretz Yisrael is in green. So everything in green is Chayv Meiser and Shemitah. Next, everything to the right is chutz la'aretz. Great, he just did it with the. But you see that the Ktziv all the way on top of the map is Eretz Yisrael. Now, says the. Now, here, now the Gemara changes it. Omar Abaye Ritzun Afko. So, says the Gemara, no. Akoi is the end of Eretz Yisrael. That's the most northern part of Eretz Yisrael. It happens to be that there's a pathway, there's like a highway that goes, imagine like a walkie-talkie that has an antenna extending from the top. The walkie-talkie, the square, that's Eretz Yisrael, that's Eretz Yisrael. There's an antenna part that goes from Akoi all the way to Ktziv. Ktziv itself is not Eretz Yisrael. But if you are walking on that highway, you're not Tomei. You don't have to assume that there's dead bodies there. That highway is also part of Eretz Yisrael. But what I'm telling you in the first mission of Gittin, where do you say B'fanei Nechem, where you don't say, it's this square. V'yoyev, now that Yosef came in, I want to say Yishkoyach to Yosef for doing all the editing through the night. I want to say Yishkoyach to Tomer Levi, who went a week beforehand to America, lived out of his car for some nights, didn't eat or sleep. I can tell you, he didn't eat or sleep for days on end. And also Gary Ben Moshe, we did a shir in New York. I got home at 3:30 in the morning. So did Gary. So did Tomer. They were in Lakewood setting up the following morning. We only slept for a couple of hours every night. It was crazy. So yishkoyach to everybody for doing what they did. And there's many more people behind the scenes that I didn't mention. Marshka Ashkenazis of the world, Yossi Klein, Hassan Al-Gans, all the people, you know where you are. Omar Abaye, Ritzur Nafka, V'yoyev Tana Simona Achi, asked the Gemara, what the Tana has to talk about, this highway that goes over there in Kronami Yoyev Simona. You should know it's also, this antenna is in the Pasuk. The Ksiv, V'yoyev Ruhinei Chag. So I just want to tell real quickly. The other day, we're talking about Pelegish Begiva, the terrible story of Pelegish Begiva. So, because of what happened and Binyomin didn't want to give over, the bad guys, Klal Yisrael came in and wiped them out. Literally wiped them out. How many people were left over from the whole Shev of Binyomin? 600 men. And Klal Yisrael swore that they're not going to let their daughters marry them. So they had a big problem. Who's going to marry Binyomin? There was no women, nothing left. So whoever got a woman, a wife from Yavish Gilad, great. What about the rest? So Klal Yisrael came up with an idea. It sounds a little scary. They took some of their women that needed shidduchim and put them in this place that the pasuk is talking about. And Binyamin grabbed the women. If they took them by themselves, that's okay. We're not going to give you our daughters, but if you take our daughters, that's fine. Just as a riddle, which woman took a man? Anybody know? There's one woman that took a man. All the men from Binyamin took women. Which woman took a man? Who said that? Reb David again. Okay. Shaul's wife. Very good. Shaul's wife took him, and that's what the Navi says. People say, look what your mother did to Yonasan. Your mother took me, Shaul. Fine. But that's the story. That's the continuation of the story that we had yesterday. So here's the map, Rabbi Isai. Shiloi is in purple. So that's where we're going to put all the people, they're going to be shidduchim over there. It's north of Bet El. So Bet El is on the bottom of the map in orange. So Shiloi is north of that, on top of that. Mizracha Shemesh L'Mesila. It's east of the highway. Here's a highway. You can see the highway going from Bet El to Shechem on top in red. There's a highway going. So it's Shiloi is east. It's right to the right. I put all for the New Yorkers. This is for the New Yorkers. East is right. If we're in America, north is up, south is down. Or if you want, never eat shredded wheat. NESW. Okay, you guys are from New York. You might know it because you went to college. It's different. News. Okay.
45th, 46th.
I'm telling you, when I used to fly, and I was getting, there's a runway like, never eat shredded. Oh, okay, over here. Like, I had no idea what north and south was. Growing up in New York. Says the Gemara, no, Danny Fine told me, he doesn't know why, how come he didn't, until he listened to Shir. Why doesn't he know anything about north and south? People tell him north and south because He grew up in New York. As mechadish at them. People in New York don't know, but the whole world does. It's south of Levina. Here, show me the chart for a second. Thank you. Levina is in blue. So it's south. The purple is south of the blue, north of the orange, and east of the shvil. So you see the pasuk talks about the shvil, the pathway. What if there's a boat sitting in Eretz Yisrael in the river? And a guy wrote a get in the boat. Does the river have halacha of Eretz Yisrael that you don't have to say b'fanei nechtav, or it's like chutz la'aretz that you have to say b'fanei nechtav v'tanya yidoch kemevi b'chutz la'aretz? We have a contradiction in the brayso. So machlokes Reb Yehuda Rabbanon the Snan offer chutz la'aretz haba b'sfina la'aretz chayev b'maiser b'shvius. So here's the situation. Oh, it actually moves. Givaldik. You have a boat. I like that. You have a boat that somebody planted a tree, an orange tree, in the boat, and it's with dirt from Chutz La'aretz. It doesn't make a difference that the dirt is from Chutz La'aretz. Since this tree was growing in Eretz Yisrael, so the tree is chayev and meiser and in Shemitah. You can't eat it if it's a Shemitah, but you chayev and meiser. You hear what's going on here? Givaldik. What's the boat made out of? Cheres. It's made out of earthenware, because if it's made out of wood creates a separation. That's only in the next thing you'll see. Gusheshes. You see that? If the boat is touching the ground, so there's no separation between the ground and the boat and the tree, I don't know, disappeared, my cheres. You see, I added that today. It's cheres, and I wanted to emphasize that we're talking about in a second. The pot is made out of wood. So the Tanakama holds that the river is like Eretz Yisrael. So if it's Eretz Yisrael, you don't have to say b'fanei nechtam regarding a get also. According to Rabbi Yehuda, that the river is not like Eretz Yisrael, so you have to say b'fanei nechtam. Now, what about the fact, Taisa says, that what difference does it make? You're in a river in the middle of Eretz Yisrael, so there's no problem of Lishma, because everybody's Israeli. And there's no problem of Eidim, because we're in the middle of a little tiny river in Tel Aviv over there, next to, what is it called over there? The Yarkon, in the middle of in Bnei Brak. So everybody knows in Bnei Brak the Shema. So doesn't know, like plug. We treat it like chutz la'aretz for whatever we treat it like chutz la'aretz. So it's chutz la'aretz. I don't care if everybody knows it doesn't know. Huh? Oh yeah. Oh, it says the Gemara. Abayom are liflik v'listen v'dida. Ha v'ha Rabbi Yehuda v'lekashia kam bizman she'en asfina gesheshes kam bizman she'asfina gesheshes. It could be Rabbi Yehuda, and it depends if it's touching the ground, not touching the ground. Omer Reb Zeira otzis nakav amunach agabi yiseidos. So here's the picture. If you have a pot that has a hole in it because it's made out of wood, so it doesn't nourish from the ground, but since it has a hole in it, it nourishes. But machlokes Reb Yehuda Rabbanan, this same idea, says the Gemara, this exact machlokes that we had a second ago is the machlokes between Reb Yehuda Rabbanan. What's the connection between the machlokes? Reb Yehuda says by a boat, because it moves. But this pot, let's see the chart, please. Not. When it comes to the boat, there's no air. Water is not considered air. The mayo carries michtadam. It's like very thick dirt. Maybe it's a big afkemina. Look at all the air between the ground and the actual pot. So maybe over there, everybody agrees that it's mafsik, and it's not Eretz Yisrael, it's Chutz La'aretz. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day. Great to be back.